I am a little girl and polar bears are playing around in the icy water. They are coming closer to kill me. I woke suddenly, was sure something was coming from the radio beside me, but it had stopped suddenly when I woke. I reached over from the bed and checked to see if it was on. No. I lay there unable to sleep for a while, but eventually turning over and drifting off. I'd been talking in my sleep again. I remembered even singing too the next morning. They wanted me to know that too. They were laughing at me everywhere I looked, on the street and at work, not smiles but looking smug. A few days later I was driving through the freeway tunnel and on the radio came an emergency message about the tunnel. In that moment I understood. I had a call from the police station. They'd caught the man snatching bags and wanted me to come down and identify the suspect. I went down to the station and viewed a video of a group of suspects picking out the man I thought had stolen my handbag. After the line-up, the detective told me I'd not picked the right man. I went to leave, but as I did I turned back to him and explained that I was going to court to appeal 4 parking tickets because I could not register for a parking permit without my identification, which had been stolen. Would you write a letter to verify the bag snatch took place during the time I received the parking tickets? I asked. He agreed to write the letter and mail it back to me. Ken seemed to have drifted out of my orbit. There was less and less to signal any reality about him and his love for me. It was getting harder and harder to continue while locking the secret of him inside. I'd seen him on television, one layer back from the screen character he played, and was looking for a sign, anything, to keep believing it was true, or even just real. But when I saw him, an image of an image, there was nothing but the plank of sadness in my spine. My dreams were erotic. I walked through the day in a heightened state of arousal. Were they trying to make me blush, or to find the shame and flush it out? I kept hearing the line, "I want you bad." Whoever was in my head was masked. I was sick of trying to make out shadows and feel for faces, like a host of squatters hiding in a dark room. Nowhere was private anymore. Nothing was safe. I was summoned to appear in court over the unpaid parking tickets. I had prepared a short explanation in dot points and was waiting to be called. I stood and explained my case to the judge. I produced the letter from the detective to prove that I had no ID to register for a parking permit. The judge took one look at the letter and said it was inadmissible because it had no government stamp of verification. How ironic. She reluctantly acquitted me of the parking tickets, though, but not before scolding me by saying, "Well, if you choose to live in that area." Her voice drained away as she shifted her paperwork. I bit my lip. I went with a friend to a bar. He sat there talking to me as I watched the couple behind him. The woman looked a little like me. Maybe it is, I thought. My life may not even be real. I turned my attention back to my friend still talking. Maybe he was simply an actor. Maybe they are all actors playing parts in my own play. I wondered if this was what life was to everyone else. Nothing seemed definable. The labels didn't match anymore. Was good good? Was bad bad? How could I distinguish if they felt the same? That was the question. "Do you know much about schizophrenia?" I asked him suddenly. "A little." He waited to see if he should continue. "I know that people who have it often experience delusions about being watched and followed, paranoia. But some of the world's best artists and thinkers have it. It's not the end." "Is it hereditary?" I asked. "Well, there are different theories. They really don't know a lot about it. Some say it's related to childhood trauma." Everything I had ever believed seemed to be sliding out of view. It felt like the floor was tilting and that I would slide away too in any moment, and I grabbed the stool to anchor down. As I placed the empty tumbler on the bar, it missed and it fell to the floor, and I watched it smash. "Will you stay with me tonight?" I asked. "Let me think about it," he said. He came back to my house later that night, insisted on keeping the lights on, and that should have been a giveaway. The next day and throughout the week the voice mocked me. I'd been filmed and the ratings were low. I found it in conversations had and heard, newspaper articles and radio announcers and television advertising. I couldn't turn it off any more than turning off my own mind. As I watched television a few nights later, speechless, A host had guests parodying my situation, like a close rewrite of my own life script. There was mention of a bribe, and I'd heard about this happening to other women before, but I was beyond caring. I was watching television when my flatmate started talking about Ken's next movie, and sirens rang. I was on guard. Why had Ken chosen me to love? Everyone's got a Hollywood friend, but where does it get you? I said angrily. Angry with the pantheon of stars I'd seen everywhere, them or surprisingly good doubles. At a bus stop, crossing at the lights, in a car or a pub, an extraordinary face in an ordinary place, shifting the boundaries of real and make-believe, watching me sink further and further like a permanent on-air reality show.